What's up, guys? Say Hey Jay here with Let's Talk Sports, and we are talking some NASCAR and the Daytona 500 as the season kicked off yesterday in some interesting style. Now, we had to kick it off a little hour early, trying to beat the rain in Daytona, and kudos for NASCAR for making that call. Now, in the first stage, we had the pole sitter Kyle Busch going for his first ever Daytona 500 win on the pole for the first time, but he got behind the 8 ball early. He lost the lead during the race, and then BJ McLeod ended up spinning, bringing out the caution, and then the strategy started to ensue. Now, Kyle Busch ended up staying out onto the track while others were topping off on fuel every lap under the caution to make sure they could pack it in with fuel. Now, Kyle Busch had the track position, but ended up losing it and losing his cool a little bit. He was frustrated early on in this race, losing that track position and getting behind on the strategy. Zane Smith ended up getting the stage win for Team FRM, who had a great Daytona 500, and he got the first stage win of the year and huge points going down the line. Now, of course, in that second stage, it got a little interesting. Late in that stage, Justin Allgaier took control of the race, but he got out a little too far, squeezed Denny Hamlin into the wall, and then started the big one at the front of the pack. Ryan Blaney was involved. Kyle Busch was involved. There was a William Byron who was involved, and a lot of wrecks was involved in that race. And it put a lot of great cars behind the 8 ball in this race at the end of the second stage. Bubba Wallace ended up winning that stage under caution and getting 10 huge points as Team 2311 had a huge day all in all. Now, in that third stage, Team Toyota kind of took control of that pack, and we were 3 by 3 by 3 in the whole pack, saving fuel. Ryan Blaney and others were not too happy about this strategy, but that is what happens in pack racing nowadays with the fuel mileage and everything, and Toyota was good enough to get up front and take control, and they took advantage. Now, it all kind of broke loose once the pit stop started to happen because not a lot of teams pitted together. It was a little chaotic and not a lot of great groups coming out together in an orderly fashion, and it got a little crazy, and Michael Mendal ended up staying out as a caution came out, and he was able to get the lead by staying out in the stage. Now, there was stage 3, and it was getting crazy, and then we had a big wreck at the end of the race, near the end of the race. Carson Hocevar had the lead going into the final lap, ended up getting spun, collected a whole bunch of cars behind him, and then Chase Elliott ended up with the lead. He had Team FRM driver Zane Smith pushing him, and then he had Tyler Reddick and Riley Hurst, his teammate, behind him as they were fighting for the lead. Zane Smith ended up disconnecting with Chase Elliott. Team 2311 got the move. Tyler Reddick went inside on Chase Elliott and made the pass. Riley Hurst get collected in a wreck and caught Chase Elliott, and Tyler Reddick ended up getting the win at Daytona as they were wrecking behind him, which was huge for Team 2311, which of course had just got off of that lawsuit against NASCAR, and they ended up winning that right before the end of the season to finally put that to bed, and then they start off the season with the biggest race of the year. And Tyler Reddick's first ever Daytona 500 win, Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin's first Daytona 500 win as owners, and it was a huge race. Now, Chase Elliott had a great chance to win that race. He did not make the aggressive block at the end to try to win, and he tried not to wreck, even though he did end up getting wrecked anyway. But in his interview, he just felt like if he tried to make that block on Reddick, they would have wrecked. And I agree. And I know that may have cost him a Daytona 500, but I respected the way he raced, and he tried his hardest and just did not get it done. But he ended up getting 4th and some big points in the race. But Tyler Reddick ended up with the win. Now, you let me know in the comment section what you would have done if you were Chase. Would you try to block and ended up wrecking for the Daytona 500, or would you have made the same decision? You let me know. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more, and have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.